So, should I start?
Yeah, yeah, you can start.
Okay. So, what was I saying that about?
Yeah, so you're saying it is not necessary for everyone to reach the main.
Yes. And I would like to give. I was giving some arguments why that should not be. So, before, okay, why? Because if you want to pursue some things in life, so you might need more of certain things. So, reaching the mean. So, if that is part of your life, or that is a goal of your life, you should try to do that. So about probably 2 years ago, in my own personal blog, I wrote a post about two contrasting characters from movies that I found. So have you watched the movie Whiplash,
Yeah, Whiplash. Yeah,
the drummer movie?
yeah, I watched it.
Okay. And have you watched the show by Ricky Gervais, that Afterlife?
I know I got to watch that.
Okay, so there are two contrasting scenes that make perfect sense here. Okay, so in Whiplash, the drummer, so what his girlfriend came, or I think he invited his girlfriend to say that he's going to break up with her. He gave the rationale that if I'm going to be with you, then I will miss my to spend time with you. I'll have to sacrifice on spending time on missing my drumming skills, drumming practice. And on the other hand,
Right.
if I miss my drumming practice, I will not feel good because I want to be the best. Because if you see that movie, he was very so obsessive about that. He just wanted
Yeah,
to be the best, or he wanted to be perfect in that. So if he's okay, then what is it that first of all, if he wants to spend more time with his girlfriend, then he has to reduce the time he spends on practicing drumming. So he will feel bad about practicing drumming. On the other hand, if he wants to practice more his drumming skills, then he have to spend less time with his girlfriend. So again, in his mind, he'll feel bad that he is not going to do this. So ultimately, he's left with he has to make one choice, one or the other. And
right.
because he's so obsessive with his drumming skill, he said that I have to choose one, and I'm going to choose my drum skill, that career, to be the best in that field. So here you can
Yeah,
see that he is, I think so, is very highly conscientious, conscientiousness, conscientious.
yeah,
So he's
yeah,
very much into it. So he's like laser focused. That this is my one thing I want to be, and that is what I'm going to do. And a similar kind of situation arrived in uh, Afterlife as well. So Ricky Gervais was a newspaper reporter, and in the show he said that it was said that actually in the show his wife dies of cancer, and uh, and he becomes very, I would say, very, I was pessimistic about life and all of those things. So in one of those things, and he works at a very small English in a small town in England, and he works for a very local paper in a small town in England. So one day, one of his colleagues from the newspaper, the newspaper that he was working on, he asked him that why are you still you are a very good reporter, so you could have gone to London or some big city and work for a very highly reputed newspaper, because he was very
yeah.
skillful, skillful to be working for a local newspaper in a very small town. So he said that
Okay.
okay, he said that that was never my goal in life. I just wanted to spend time with my wife. Go like he said, I want to live in this small town. Every weekend go to the beach with my wife, come home, have dinner with my wife, and just live the life. That was his goal.
Right.
That is complete opposite to what the other person was trying to say in Whiplash. He was not Ricky
Right.
Gervais was not on. He didn't want to be the best reporter ever or something like that. He just did that because it probably to earn his living, and he found it interesting. But apart from that, he was not that super obsessive or something like that. He just wanted to have a family life. That was his goal.
Hmm.
So he was willing to sacrifice that.
Yeah,
So I think so. He did not choose to be very to be very conscientious. So I think so depending on what your goals and aims in life is, you should try to be. And if being in the middle makes you satisfied or happy, you should do that. Because in today's culture, this hustle culture and all of those things, people are, I'd say, like romanticizing the hard work and hustle too much. But it may not be for everyone because their personality doesn't allow them to do that. And they like by choosing to go down that path, they'll only become more miserable. So it is
Yeah, right.
better for them to evaluate their own goals in accordance to and to evaluate their own goals based on what they truly want, not because the society or the current trend is something like that. So I would say yes. So based on it, you can either go to the top or, but at the same time, what I'm saying is that if certain things are stopping you or making your life worse, suppose being too conscientiousness is suppose affecting the personal life too much, so you should try to cut down that a little bit, cut that down a bit, uh, means cut it down a bit
Yeah,
and try to what else should I say? Try to balance it there. So it depends on what your goal is. That is basically what I was
I agree with all the points that you made. So that is one
saying.
perspective, really. What another perspective that I have, it's not like opposed to what you're saying. It's just another, I think,
Way
way
of
of looking
saying.
at the same situation.
Okay.
So uh, I don't know if it is a proper term used in psychology or not, but I think there is something to be said about inertia in a person's behavior.
Okay.
People really would not want to change.
Hmm.
So,
Yes, I have
however, they have been going forever. Yeah, yeah.
hmm. Yes, yes, continue there and then else.
Okay, so like whatever way they have been living so far,
Okay.
that is how they would like to live forever. If there
Ah.
is no requirements at all to change, they will not seek change
Hmm.
first.
Okay.
So someone, if for some reason is in extreme side of any trait that is not really helpful to their life,
Ah.
then based then some there will be some bias in them that will try to justify that situation, put themselves as, let's say, the victim, and the world as the, what is the other word?
Uh, yes, the person who is suppressing or uh,
Yeah, the person who is causing him to
uh,
become the victim.
yes.
So if without any, some people will by their own come to the conclusion that they need to change,
Hmm.
but most people will try to justify that there is no need for them to change. The world
Okay.
around them needs to change for them,
Okay.
or the way they are being is right.
Okay.
There is also one kind of one like a percentage of people that exist like that.
Hmm.
And
Yes.
in those situations where, I guess what I'm trying to say is, they may not agree, or they may say that what, however, the way I am being is right, and I have no need to change. But their actions, or maybe the way they think, will show that they are not really happy, or not
Ah.
satisfied with being that way. But they are still not trying to change, and trying to
Ah.
basically make themselves, the entire,
Hmm.
I guess, the leftist movement in the US
Hmm. Yes.
is some sort of, it's a sort of example of
Uh,
this itself.
yes.
Whatever way
Yes.
they feel,
Yeah.
they think that is
Uh,
right. They are supposed to feel that way,
yeah. Uh-huh.
and the
Correct.
entire world is supposed to change.
Uh,
So I guess there
I.
is a case to be made for both sides. The example that you gave is right, but I
Yes.
think the other extreme also exists.
Hmm.
And of course, there is no general solution. It is a case by case.
Yeah.
The
Yes.
answer will be different.
Yes. And this I agree with what you said. For example, uh, let's see, there are certain things that are objectively wrong, whether an individual tries to say it or not, whatever they want to say.
Yeah,
So the thing is uh, through whatever means, by through learning new things or by your own self realization, or however you come to a conclusion. Once you know that whatever you're doing is wrong or is not beneficial for you, so you should try to change. For example, uh, suppose uh, recently I have through reading this book I learned that sleep is important. Like for example, whatever 7 8 hours or whatever this kind of sleep is important. And so earlier my thinking was that okay, if I can sleep for 6 or 7 or 5 or 6 hours, that's enough. But I just made it up for myself because I think that because I'm working or doing something else, that is just justifiable for me. But if someone shows you the data of hundreds of research on what it does to you or what happens in the long term if you deprive
yeah,
yourself of sleep, so you come to know that okay, so you have been following a bad habit. So regardless of whatever you're trying to do, it is time for you to change. It is don't try to justify yourself by saying that no 6 hours or 5 hours is enough. Try to change your whatever circumstances need there. So in those areas you should try to change. For example, the left is this liberal or what this thing in US, those are trying to make a fair acceptance and all of those things. So you are going against the you are expanding certain things to certain to things that doesn't matter. For example, color of skin and all of those things, race, those things are the initially the movement was to make those things accepted because there's
right,
nothing actually wrong with it, because of your skin color doesn't make any difference. It is purely
right,
a biological thing, doesn't make you healthier or sicker, make you stronger or weaker. It is irrelevant to anything, it's just a color. It is so
yeah,
discriminating someone on the basis of color or race is completely illogical. So that was to create a movement to sensitivize people to treat each and every people regardless of their skin color or religion. That was totally valid. But now they're expanding it into things like uh, fat acceptance. That that is not a logical extension, because if someone is fat, that is actually actually bad for that person in the long term, because
yeah,
eventually that person is going to get sick. So okay, teasing people because they are fat, that is not good. That should not be done. But at the same time, you're saying you should glorifying people because they are fat. That shouldn't be done either. So okay, so that's what I'm trying to say. But I forgot the point of what point was it? But uh, yes, not okay. Do you want to add something to this?
yeah. So I guess another thing you should keep in mind whether to like when choosing whether to change anything
Uh,
in themselves is to like actually look around also because these traits are in relation to something else, right?
uh,
So no matter how accepted you, however much you accept yourself in whatever
uh,
way, in whatever traits you have,
okay.
I think it is also necessary to like look around and see the kinds of, for example, the example you gave of Ricky Gervais in that movie,
Yes.
where he chose to live work in this local branch.
Uh,
That objectively is objectively it is not as prestigious as working at some higher branch of that
uh,
of a newspaper, right?
yes.
But it is also not bad.
Uh,
He is not
yes.
choosing to be some daily wage laborer.
Uh,
So if your rates are keeping you at a level
uh,
where it is objectively it's not considered good,
uh,
then I think you should do things to change that.
Yes, that I completely agree. Yes, that is the kind of thing that should actually be done. Yeah, that is actually stopping your making your life much more difficult. Then you should definitely work on try to improve it. For
Yeah,
example,
because in that example only, if you compare himself to someone working in other big branch in London or something,
uh,
he will see his life as bad. But relatively,
objectively,
it is
uh,
okay. Yeah. So if you are in a
okay,
situation where it is everything is going okay
hmm,
and you are fine with it, then it's
hmm,
fine. But and if you are ambitious, then you can of course go for more or whatever.
yes,
But if you are at a place where it is objectively not like somewhere where people want to be,
uh,
then there is there is like a need for change. And
yes. A good example would be, like, for example, your health or being obese or fat. That is a good example. Like, that regardless of whether you say, okay, I don't want six packs anyways. If you say it like that, then
yeah,
okay, I'm happy to be fit. That is not an there's not a rationale for being here. You being fit. You may not want six packs, or but that you don't have to exercise to be serious. You have like 5% body fat for physique. You have to get to a level that is actually objectively healthier. To, to try to make excuse for not exercising because you don't want to be there. That is the kind of thing that should not be there. So, uh, should we add anything here?
basically you can conclude. So
Uh,
what happened? So we discussed like so the point of this video basically was we should like assess the advantage, the disadvantage of whatever our traits are,
uh,
and we should make an honest, yeah, that is the word,
yes.
honest analysis of our traits,
Hmm.
not covered by our bias by saying, yeah, it is fine, I should be staying this way is okay or whatever like that.
Yes.
After making an honest analysis, if we see there is scope for change, either in either side, either decrease some trait or increase some trait,
Uh,
should try and change that. And he did not give step by step like
right.
process of how to change or no, but he did mention that every trait can be altered.
Okay.
So there are things you can do to become more conscientious,
Yes.
or to
Yes.
decrease neuroticism.
Okay. So that
And
was
I
it.
think there is another thing. Have you heard of this uh, self-authoring program?
By Jordan Peters.
Yeah,
Yes, I've heard of it a long time ago. As they were, there
basically
he
that.
says that, how what you do, how would you like to see yourself in 5 years? And yes, go on. You
Yeah, so
can.
there are like three parts.
Hmm.
One is the past authoring, the present authoring, and the future authoring.
Okay.
It's like a completely like a writing exercise, the entire thing
Okay.
with prompts and stuff. So basically, you will figure out or you'll make it like a story of your life.
Hmm.
So this process, I think, will help people
Ah,
make an honest analysis of their personality or how it might have changed, how they are right now, and how they would like it to change in the future or whatever they want.
okay.
So
Okay.
that is one way of actually figuring out or
Okay.
the traits and how you basically react to different things. Basically, to understand yourself better.
Okay. So okay. So one thing, maybe not okay, definitely not today, but next time or something like that, I would
Yeah.
like to discuss about something which is related to just self-authoring or that thing that it tries to. Uh, so tries to develop. So self-authoring, what it tries to develop is you should through this exercise you should, especially in the future authoring thing, the thing that they're trying to develop is you should have a vision or a target that you're trying to hit, and you're making changes in your life, both in the short term and long term, according to on how you can make those changes so that you can reach the goal, those things that you're trying to achieve. Isn't it the case?
Yeah, they should.
Okay.
I think it is similar. They have exercises for those kind of situations.
It actually reminded me of one of the podcasts of Joe Rogan that I was hearing probably about about probably 2 or 3 years ago. It was an author named Johan Hari. He talked about how about addiction and how he helped people, or how he researched people, that how people got out of addiction and all this. So in short, it was about, today I'll not discuss, maybe in the next year, next discussion session we'll do it, but I'll just give you a brief thing about it. So uh, the thing he mentioned is the importance of having an aim or target in life. So it is it is being thrown around so much that I should have an aim in life and all those things, such generically, that it becomes too vague to say these things. But actually, it is very important to have one. And maybe for this week, I'll just try to look more into it and uh, discuss it properly in more details next time when we discuss it. So I
Yeah,
think
anything more?
no. I think so. We can finish if you don't have anything else to say.
Can end it here.
Yes, we can end it.